So Massachusetts was never really the most pro-gun state in the world. It actually was not very pro-gun at all, come to think of it. And now they're doing this.
So Massachusetts is in the process of overhauling its gun laws. House Democrats introduced a sweeping piece of legislation last month that would essentially rewrite them.
But a gun owners group says the proposal violates the Constitution.
1 year after the Supreme Court struck down the concealed carry law in Massachusetts, Representative Michael Day introduced House Bill 4420, an act modernizing firearm laws.
There can be no dispute that gun violence is on the rise, certainly around the country, but even here in Massachusetts where we have great laws.
The bill rewrites licensing procedures, revamps regulations for training and selling firearms, and expands extreme risk protection orders, also known as red flag laws. It also cracks down on ghost guns.
This is really intending to get at those that are evading our code of laws through the advancement of technology and criminal behavior.
It's so overwhelming, no lawful citizen would be able to comply if this passes. Nobody.
Jim Wallace with the Gun Owners Action League said the new bill goes too far and makes legally owning a gun complicated and confusing.
These laws are more convoluted. They didn't streamline the process like they said they were going to do.
Obviously, you've heard some of their response or some of the criticisms. One of the big ones is that this overcomplicates an already complicated gun law. What is your response to that?
I think if you sit down and read it and look at what it actually will do, it simplifies it considerably. It also, I think, gives our tools, our law enforcement professionals, and our neighborhoods the tools they need to combat rising gun violence.
So if this bill's passed, it will make Massachusetts one of the most anti-gun states in the country. And that's saying a lot when you have anti-gun states like New York and California to compete with. But when you look closer at the proposed measures in this bill, you quickly realize that Massachusetts has lost his damn mind. I kid you not. This bill bans the ability to shoot at silhouette targets at a gun range. No, seriously, all those targets that are in the shape of people, you won't be able to shoot at them anymore. How is this saving lives? Looks more like tyrannical control and mental conditioning to me, but who am I? This bill will require not only all guns be registered, but also each and every magazine. It also bans anyone under the age of 21 from buying or carrying a semi-auto rifle or a shotgun. I guess 18, 19, and 20-year-olds aren't allowed to protect themselves anymore. You won't even be able to carry a firearm on private property unless you get permission. Hell, if you're under the age of 18, you won't even be able to defend yourself with mace. And if you have a stun gun, you'll have to register it because it's added as a gun by definition under this new bill. The bill will also allow the police to demand you show your permit for no reason, which essentially is stop and frisk by another name. To make matters worse, your employers, school administrators, and certain medical professionals can go to a judge and ask them to suspend your license if they think you're at risk to harm yourself or others, which sounds great on papers until you realize this happens before you get to even prove your case. Keep in mind, this bill is 140 pages of gun laws. I just told you about a few of them. The local police don't even support this bill. So much so, the Ware Police Department put a warning about the bill on their Facebook page. And I quote, "A plethora of blatantly unconstitutional proposals litter this travesty of a bill. Too many to mention here. However, of particular egregiousness is the criminalization of carrying firearms in certain so-called prohibited locations, including businesses and private properties, even while holding a valid license to carry. Not even off-duty police officers will be exempted from this appalling mandate." The disgusting thing about this bill is that it's purely in response to the Supreme Court ruling that a state can't deny someone a carry permit simply because their need for one isn't special enough. So this is Massachusetts' way of trying to backdoor the law. Essentially, you have the right to carry on paper, but in the real world, you're not allowed to carry it. Oh, actually. And if you need more evidence that the anti-gun lobby and their politicians are lying when they say they just want so-called common sense gun laws, listen to what the Democrat representative who introduced the bill said about the bill. While the Commonwealth's gun laws are among the best in the nation, unrelenting acts of violence and the Supreme Court's deleterious Bruin decision demand legislative action both here in Massachusetts and on the federal level, Speaker Mariano said on the day the legislation was unveiled, according to WWLP. So they're basically saying, we already have all the common sense gun control that we said we wanted, but that wasn't enough, so we're gonna ask for more gun control. I keep telling people, they will never, ever, ever, ever stop. They're not even hiding it at this point. They're telling you, yeah, we have really strong gun laws, but it's not enough. We want more, and we'll keep calling it common sense gun laws because you idiots keep falling for it. Nothing about this bill is about keeping people safe. It's literally the state throwing a temper tantrum because of the Bruin decision that said you can't make people specify special need to get a carry permit. So this is Massachusetts legislature saying, fine, if we can't keep people from carrying guns, we're gonna make carrying a gun so hard and convoluted and difficult, you won't even bother. Which means the only people who have guns then when they're out and about will be the criminals. So what can you do to try to stop this? Well, I'll let the Ware Police Department tell you what you can do. Communicate with your elected representatives. Reach out to your local, state, and federal representatives to express your concerns about the bill. Write letters and make phone calls to ensure your voice is heard. And that's not me saying it. That is the police department saying that. And for those of you who feel like, oh, well, I don't live in Massachusetts, so I ain't worried about it. Use the words from the person who brought this bill as a warning. Mariano added that he hopes their work in Massachusetts will serve as a national model for Congress and other states. You know, quiet as kept, gun control not only doesn't keep people safe, it's expensive to implement and run. It's been calculated to cost on the low end $3.2 billion and $16 billion on the high end just to do a national gun buyback. That's why I came up with the defund gun control design. The defund gun control movement is about divesting our precious resources from useless and unconstitutional gun control laws and focusing those resources on addressing the underlying issues and protecting the Second Amendment instead of forcing the American people to pay for the violation of their Second Amendment right. The defund gun control design is available in hats, shirts, and drinkware. So head over to shop.mrcolonnoir.com and check out the defund gun control collection. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.